Darren Rovell with Collect TV here with Yankees great Bernie Williams and renowned tenor Jonathan Tetelman. Why are we doing this? Well, this week tickets went on sale for a January 13th concert at Carnegie Hall. And although I am a sports guy, I am also a theater major from Northwestern. So this hits my heart so well. And my dad is a jazz pianist. So this really hits. Welcome, guys. Wanted to, obviously, this is something that is so unique. Bernie, you've done a lot since you retired, and you've really made a music career, Grammy nomination. What has it been since your playing career has been over? What has it been to have a second career as a musician?
Well, I just want to say that I feel so blessed and so fortunate to retire at an age that I could start something else and try to be as good as I could be. Baseball obviously allowed me to do that. I retired at 37 from like actual playing in the big leagues. And then 7 years after, I decided, well, you know what? I have nothing else to prove in baseball. And this music, Cupid thing is just knocking at the door. And I put myself through school at the Manhattan School of Music for 4 years, got a jazz degree, and I've been playing music ever since. And music has brought me to places that I could never imagine. Playing in London and France and Egypt, and it's been such a great opportunity to express myself in a way that baseball was great, but music, there's sort of a spiritual aspect of music that it could be. I can't even describe it. I can only just live it. And I'm so fortunate to have the opportunity to do this at this point in my career, very blessed.
How would you describe baseball compared to music? I know baseball is a game where you have to be very patient, both in getting better. It is a long game. It is you as follow after following a couple guys through the minor leagues for a week, I was like, oh my God, this life is slow. You got to be patient. So how would you say your baseball career prepared you for being a world class musician?
Well, I think, I would argue that it could be the opposite. I think the music experience that I had as a child prepared me for my career in the major league.
Wow, wow, wow.
I think that, the things that I got from music and learning a musical instrument, things like discipline, commitment, timing, not dwelling on your mistakes, thinking about the next note, about the next song, without dwelling on your mistakes too much that it would freeze you. I think all of those qualities I was able to transplant from music right into the sport, which is a sport that requires you to be very patient, but at the same time, explosive at times. You can't dwell on your mistakes. You have to think about the next pitch. You have to think about the next game and the discipline and commitment that requires you to be the best at all times, especially playing in a city like New York, where it's basically what have you done for me lately? It's like, the next thing, it doesn't matter what you have done before. There always have this expectation of you being at your best all the time. And for me, music was the vehicle that I utilized to prepare myself, to be as good as baseball player that I could be.
Jonathan, you've sung all over the world. I know that Manhattan has a special place for you. You lived here, studied here. Um, what does it mean to come to Carnegie Hall? I know you performed two leading roles at the Met, so that's certainly a big deal. But what does Carnegie Hall specifically mean to you?
Carnegie Hall. That's the big one, I think, for everyone. Everybody has a dream to go to that place because it's not like the Met is wonderful and there's the greatest artists, singers that have performed there, but Carnegie Hall is, everyone, every great has really been there. And I think that, what it stands for, Carnegie Hall, is just excellence in everything. And like Bernie, I think that that devotion to your craft and that focus and the underlying passion you have to get to Carnegie Hall and deliver something like that is the ultimate dream. So for me, it's the culmination of all of my work traveling around the world and singing in all these opera houses, not only to be in Carnegie Hall, but to do it with a wonderful athlete and musician. It's just like that's exactly what Carnegie Hall stands for, I think.
Bernie, being performing with Bernie obviously brings a new opportunity. Opera sometimes is pigeonholed into, the same audience not being able to grow beyond who just originally likes it or is predisposed to it. So, what do you think this opportunity presents to the opera world?
Well, for me, I think it's just a magnificent opportunity to expose people that may not be familiar with opera and classical music, to bring them to that space where they can appreciate, not only listen to, but appreciate, how difficult it is to hone your craft to that level that you could be among the best in the world. And it takes a lot of work, a lot of passion. I echo Jonathan's words. When you have an opportunity to play with and perform with such a great talent, world renowned, it just puts your work in perspective. Because I think, I compare it with baseball. In baseball, you pretty much know how good a player is because you have a lot of metrics. You have stats, you have contracts, you have, playing at that level, you can tell how good a player is, and there's a lot of metrics that can measure that. In music, it's a little subjective, So for me, the way that I can measure myself is by the people that I perform with and by the places that I perform at. And just to have that opportunity in my, I would say, young musical career to perform with a person of such caliber as John is just an opportunity that is something that is, I would never see in my wildest dreams. When somebody would tell me 15, 16 years old, you're going to play a full career in the major leagues, and then you're going to have an opportunity to play in Carnegie Hall with Jonathan Tetelman. I mean, this is something you'll be like, oh man, you're crazy. This is not real. This is like pipeline dream, but it is a reality, and it requires a lot of work and effort, and just be grateful for the blessing that I have.
John?
Well, I think the opera community, not only in New York but worldwide, it's a bit narrow. I think that you're very limited to what you can do because it's really a classical art, and there are some productions and some people that want to push the envelope in certain ways, but at the end of the day, you're singing an opera. It's written down in the score, and you have to really follow what's going on. And you have to sing the notes, and it's you're putting on a show, but it's someone else's show. I think that bringing Bernie and I together, we can take inspiration that he had as a Yankee and he has as a musician, and I have as a singer in opera, and I have also as an artist that wants to try different things and put them on the stage in Carnegie Hall. I think that's a really cool, something that's never been done, and it will inspire. That's really what we want to do. We want to inspire people to try new things, go all in, and enjoy what they do, because that's exactly what we do as athletes, artists, and men. So Carnegie is our platform to really take advantage of this moment.
Bernie, what's your nerves going to be like compared to getting up in the World Series in 96, 97, 98, 2000, 2001? I mean, where are your nerves? Obviously, you've been in the music industry now, for a long time. But where will they be come January 13th?
Oh, they will be at the highest level possible. I do believe that nerves are going to come no matter what in any situation that is high pressure. I think the difference is that, nervousness can have two avenues, and that it just comes, the word preparation comes to mind. When you prepared and you have done everything that you can to prepare for that event, your nervousness becomes excitement. You're pumped. You're like ready to go. However, if you haven't prepared that well, that nervousness becomes anxiety and you could freeze, So I think that, the nerves are going to be there, but it's just, I guess it's incumbent upon me to make it an excitement, adventure, or, you know, something else that we would need to
Carl
get there.
Lewis singing
So,
the national anthem at the Nets game. Yeah.
hey, man, that is true. And that, the words hold true. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice,
Practice,
practice.
practice.
And I am, it's a really interesting opportunity for me, taking me out of my comfort zone. And I think, obviously, Jonathan, with his forte being opera, singing all these tunes also that are going to be, from the American songbook and the Latin American songbook and jazz and all that, involved, it's just going to be such a great opportunity for both of us to get into this area that it may be a little bit exciting because it's not what we do all the time.
Now, I don't know if this research is accurate, but some of our research indicates that Jonathan did do some DJing in Manhattan at some point, shaking the head. Is this going to be a night of guitar, vocals, and techno?
Don't tempt us.
We're gonna have a turntable there.
What were your DJing skills, Jonathan?
Oh, I mean, I was more of like a electro house music DJ. So, places like the old Cielo, I don't know if you remember that in New York, but that kind of music, that deep house, grooving, vibing, just enjoying dancing. But also open format. And I DJed in places like Webster Hall and Pasha, all over the city. But, that 9 to 5 gets real old, 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. Had to hang up the turntables.
This is real special, brought together by Adam Unger, who was a Yankees prospect and an opera singer, which is like that's amazing. That even the background of this, how this comes together, is so special. January 13th, tickets are on sale, Carnegie Hall, and I will see you guys there.
Salud.
Looking forward to it.